Whenever I was 15, God really spoke to me that I didn't have a relationship with Him, and that's whenever I gave my heart to the Lord. Whenever I was 19 is whenever I really started making some really poor choices, and through the result of those bad decisions, I found myself in the local county jail where God really spoke to me and really let me know that I needed to really get right with Him. I remember thinking how selfish I was. I didn't want to use God as a crutch about things. And I didn't want to just say, God, if you get me out of this, I promise I'll never do this again. He spoke to me and let me know that it was okay, and that I have more than one chance. He gave me the biggest second chance that I could have ever gotten.
I grew up in a broken home. My parents got divorced when I was 5 years old, and my mom remarried, and at first everything was great. It was a pretty happy home. We lived in Alabama. All my family was here. And then my 6th grade year, we moved down to Florida. My whole life we had pretty much gone to church and been involved in church, but it was just to go to say we had gone. Never really had grasped a relationship with God. So when we moved to Florida, it just kind of got worse and worse. We started attending church less and less, and the home life got worse. It began to where my stepdad started drinking more, and he began to be abusive. And the abuse just got worse and worse. My senior year, I had just had enough. I knew that if I didn't get out of it then there went my life. When I was 18, I ran away from home back to Birmingham to be with my dad. And that's really when everything changed. When I came here, that's when I really realized, okay, I've got to get my life right. I can't be the way that I was before. And that's really when my relationship with God began. That's when He came into my life and just changed me completely. And that's when I began to realize that my old life didn't have to be my new life, and that He loves me for who I am, not for who my past is. I met Daniel when I was attending a local church, and he was coming to help out with the band. And we started to get to know each other and became friends, and then we started dating.
And it didn't take long to realize that this was who I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. And God had really laid it on my heart about Cultivate Church, and the feeling was not mutual.
No, it was not. We had discussed Cultivate before, and every time we discussed it, it became a heated conversation. I had always grown up in a church that was already set up, was already ready to go, and all you had to do was come in and they would put you where they needed you. And the fact of having something brand new really scared me, and I think that's why I got so angry, and just anytime he would bring it up, I would be extremely hostile about it.
We decided to go have dinner one night at a restaurant, and God had really placed it on our hearts to fast and to fast each other for 21 days. And it was really to the point of I knew Cultivate was where I needed to be. It's where God had really put it on my heart, and the feeling wasn't mutual, and the relationship was on the line pretty much.
It was just really cool to see how that God really changed my heart about Cultivate. Like we said before, I started off where Cultivate was not an option, but it was really neat to see, throughout the whole fast, that God just really showed me that was where I was supposed to be, and that it wasn't by Daniel's influence or by the fact of who was there and that I knew the people, but it was actually the fact that, that's where I was supposed to be. That's where God wanted me to be. And it was really cool to be able to come back from the fast and say, okay, we're going to be together, but, we actually have a purpose and we have something that is tangible.
And then we got engaged shortly thereafter, and now we're married, and it hasn't been easy, and we've made some mistakes, but the people of Cultivate have really been there to support us and lift us up in prayer and just be there and just love on us.
And it's been really cool to have that support system and have those people that, no matter what you're going through, that they're there. And, the key thing is, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. We're Sheila and Daniel Jeffreys.
And if you would like to discover what it means to live life on purpose, come check us out at cultivatechurch.tv.